Welcome to Lagos Parliament. I am Abimbola Agbebi. An eventful week it was for lawmakers in the Lagos State House of Assembly as the House Committee on Education began its inspection of schools in the state as examinations for students in graduating classes continue. We'll try to squeeze all that into the next 25 minutes, beginning with deliberations on the floor of the House. There is so much happening in the lawmaking business than what you think you know. Here in the Lagos Parliament, we track happenings within and outside the hallowed chambers, bringing you every detail you need to know about the state legislature. On Lagos Parliament, you get a chance to meet the lawmaker of the week. Events are critically reviewed. You can also observe plenary in Yoruba language. I am Abimbola Agbebi. Join me every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. as I take you through the activities of the Lagos Legislature. Lagos Parliament, bringing the legislature closer to you. The Lagos State House of Assembly has asked the Chief of Staff to the State Governor, Tayo Ayinde, the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, and that of Special Duties, to appear before it to explain the whereabouts of the 3 helicopters belonging to the state government. The management of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund are also to appear before the House to provide answers on the disappearance of the helicopters.
Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished honorable members.
The day's proceedings kicked off with an issue considered under matters of urgent public importance. It's about the whereabouts of the 3 helicopters bought under the administration of former governor of the state, Akinwumi Ambode.
In 2015, if we can remember very well, 3 helicopters were bought under the immediate former governor, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode. However, I personally, and I don't know if other people would observe, that the whereabouts and location of the 3 helicopters are actually nowhere to be found. I don't know, because this period is a very sensitive period. At least if we can't get revenue into the coffers of the state, we should be able to save the little we have.
If the purpose of buying this helicopter is for security reasons in the state, and I was listening to Honorable Fatah Mojid was saying that probably they've given it to another company, a commercial company, and he was even saying that this House of Assembly is even appropriating money for us to maintain that helicopter, and up till now there's not even any revenue that is coming into of the state. Mr. Speaker, the question we want to ask is, where is this helicopter? Where is it right now? It is not only Chief of Staff that we are going to summon. We should also add the management board, the management of Lagos State Security Trust Fund. They should also be invited. And I want to support that we should institute a committee that will look into this matter.
And I also want to believe that at this time, it should have been put to good use in this period of pandemic, particularly because of the high risk of losing lives as a result of road traffic congestion and all of that. These are the helicopters that could have been used as a form of air transport to our various isolation centers and what have you. Even though, yes, we know that we have specific places where the helipads for such helicopters have been built. It was Lagos State generated funds that was used to build all these helipads at their various locations. And of course, the Security Trust Fund gave out these helicopters for the purposes of generating funds. And if it is not coming back to the state government coffers, then what exactly has been done so far? So, in all honesty and sincerity, I would like to back the assertion which stated that the Security Trust Fund management should be invited. The Security Trust Fund has a chairman. That's where it started from. Has a chairman, has an executive head. So they have to be invited for further clarification on this issue.
functions of the helicopters were to provide security in the state as well as generate revenue. But the lawmakers were also worried about the poor state of the vehicles donated for security purposes in the state.
Like our colleagues have said, if we haven't seen anything that has to do with revenue generation from these helicopters in the budget line or in the CAFR, the revenue fund, then what has been happening to the helicopters? Lately, there was the joy and the fear of once you see helicopter flying or people look up and say, security, they are passing through and all that, but we haven't seen them in a while. Barely do you see one, maybe once in 2 months, you see them fly. What are the status? What is the status of these helicopters purchased? What have they done so far in terms of revenue generation for the state? These are the things we're asking. So, Mr. Speaker, I would also like to support what the Chief Whip has said, that there is the need for us, under Section 128, to know exactly what the funds of Lagos State has been used for, and if it has brought back what it's expected to. I so submit, sir.
Permit me to also mention that the Chief Whip, Honorable Mojisola Merinda, has brought up a very germane issue. But I don't want to say too much because my colleagues have said a lot. Let me just add that the monies that is being used to fund the operation of the helicopters goes through special duties. So whatever we need special duties. So whatever we need to do, we need to bring the Commissioner for Special Duties also here to be part of it. Thank you.
Calling our attention to this issue of helicopter is very, very apt. We need to know the whereabouts of this helicopter. Mr. Speaker, sir, it's not only the helicopter, sir. It's observed that the various vehicles bought with taxpayers' money are donated by individuals. Most of them are in bad shape.
Then in the course of our looking into their books, I remember vividly that the then commissioner told us that because of the need to generate additional revenue from that particular undertaking, that they had understanding with Caverton Nigeria Limited, who will be using those helicopters for commercial purposes, and the money accrued from that will be paid into the consolidated revenue. And I remember again that during the period of Ambody, additional one was bought, making it 3. Mr. Speaker, for the past 7-8 years, I've not seen in any of our books where any revenue accrued to the state was recorded. I think it's just beyond just calling the Chief of Staff. They're supposed to ask more questions. What was the agreement between Lagos State Government and Caverton Helicopters? Then, since when have they been using that helicopter? Obviously, it's going to be for commercial purposes. Then, all the money accrued from there, where is the money? Then, the agreement signed between Lagos State Government and that company supposed to be looked into as well. Mr. Speaker, it is taxpayers' money, and we cannot just allow such to happen. Thank you, sir.
The helicopters were purchased for dual purposes.
The House resolved to call on the Chief of Staff to the State Governor as well as other relevant agencies of the state to appear before it for further clarifications into the whereabouts of the said helicopters. And now to the school inspection story. Lagos may be ready for full resumption of schools if parents, school management and other stakeholders in the education sector show readiness to work closely with the state government in ensuring that the COVID-19 safety guidelines are complied with.
Okay.
This was part of the findings made by the Lagos Assembly Committee on Education during the inspection of schools, which began on Monday, the 24th of August.
We need to visit the schools, see the level of compliance, see the facilities on ground.
That was the deliberation that kick-started the inspection of schools in Lagos as examinations for students in graduating classes continue. Education District 1 in Agege and Ifako-Ijaiye axis was the focus at this first visit. Chairman of the Education Committee, Yinka Ogundimu, led other lawmakers asking questions, inspecting school facilities. At most of the schools visited, there was some level of compliance with the safety protocols. Students were seen writing their examination, observing the 2-meter physical distancing from one another.
We are fully prepared for resumption of our students. So we are waiting for them to come back to school. The toilets are ready. You can see the wash hand basins. They are in place for the students' resumption. So we are ready. We are expecting our students anytime they are to resume, because all the precautionary measures have been put in place for the children to be safe in the school. So we are waiting for them. We are ready. We don't have fear.
It, however, wasn't a pleasant experience for some school administrators who appeared unprepared for this august visit.
We have a functioning borehole in this. Functioning. Right? And this one why is this one not working?
The water is rushing, as you can observe. He came back later to see that the water was rushing.
Out of the schools visited, a few private and public schools got the lawmakers' commendations for their level of preparedness for a possible school reopening.
Well, so far so good. I think what we have really seen on ground, they are not too bad. They are not too bad, and we can only encourage them to build on them. So we are looking for minimum standard. I think they are above minimum standard. So because they never knew we were coming today, and they have really, the facilities we met on ground really shows that there are attempts by all of them to really work towards against the spread of COVID-19. So what we need to do is to encourage them the more, call on the Ministry of Education to still support them, strengthen them where they need a sort of help. But so far, I don't think they have done so badly, but there are still rooms for improvements. Since the other part of the economy have been opening up gradually, I see no reason why we cannot cope with the opening up of the schools. So we just still need to add one or two things to the facilities that will be on ground, and I believe that they will cope well. So we just need the support of the school management, we need the support of the Ministry of Education, we need the support of the quality assurance unit in the Ministry of Education, we need the support, of the parents too, because the parents too has a lot of role to play. If we can pull this one together, and I know that with the support even from the private sector, like where we are presently, I think we should be able to achieve a mileage, opening up of all the schools.
Firstly, I must commend the House leadership, being represented by our leader, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, for making sure that this exercise was taken into serious consideration. I have seen the fact that going round really has become very imperative, because it's not just enough for us to send our children, our wards, to all these schools to write exams without making sure that we have strict adherence to the COVID-19 protocols and rules. We've been to a lot of them, both public and private. We discovered that the private schools had more adherence to these rules. The public ones, the public schools, majorly I would say 70% tried. We still have a lot of work to be done. A whole lot of work needs to be done, especially in the areas of making sure that every student holds at least a sanitizer with him or her. You need to have that so that whenever your wards, your peers, your friends are not having something, or you touch someone mistakenly, you can always sanitize. you know, if you can't go downstairs to wash your hands with soap and water. Some schools took it seriously, some didn't, from what I discovered, but I was particularly very impressed with the public schools that took it very seriously. I mean, we went to a school and immediately you enter the school, you see everything COVID-19 compliant, making sure that the students, the teachers, parents, visitors are safe. So it's a welcome development.
What we have seen here in terms of the COVID protocol compliance, I can tell you it's a high standard. We don't want you to rest on your oars. We want you to do more. You know, you can lead, let others copy you, it doesn't matter. So, you know, do more. We want to even copy as public school, as government, we want to copy. So be an example to others. So my colleague said that can anything good come out of Jerusalem? We have seen something good come out of Agege today.
The chairman Committee on Education in the House of Assembly, we want to say that we are most delighted to have you here to see what we're doing in Agege. I want to give this to your team. This is a COVID-19 dispenser kit where hand sanitizer can be put here on daily basis. Then you can press in your hands. It is a. Can you help me, sir? Thank you. You can hold it here.
I think you should demonstrate in my hand.
Okay, sir. So these have been filled with sanitizer, filled of minimum of 70% alcohol content, and it's covered. Then we can put it on the wrist. It serves two purposes. The first purpose is a reminder. When you see this in your hand, you are reminded that you must be cautious of what you touch. Don't put your hands in the mouth, the nose, or any openings within your body. Secondly is that at any time you feel you have exposed your hands, you could open here and press yourself. Then you will have the content come out to close back, and you can rub all your hands now with it. And this can be done on limited time within the day. The following day, you pour more in your dispenser kit and you come to school with it. All children here, all staff here have one to themselves as they wear. This is mine that I have released to the Honorable Chairman of Education. And I'm also presenting this to the team. We have 20 here, and it will be good if we can adopt it as a use in Lagos State and in fact in Nigeria.
This is really good, sincerely, because first it will make the entire Lagos State know that the House members are thinking of the safety of everyone, particularly the students and the teachers.
With examinations for students in graduating classes now underway, the Education Committee has said that the next few days will witness more inspection of schools as well as facilities as the struggle to flatten the curve of the pandemic continues all over the country. As the tour of schools in the state continues, startling revelations emerged as some school structures in Alimosho area were found in a deplorable state.
The Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Education continued inspection of facilities in schools for readiness to combat COVID-19. This time, the committee members were in Alimosho local government area of the state. The inspection, which is coming ahead of planned reopening of schools in the state, started with communities within the Education District 1. Agege, Ifakoijayi and Alimosho have so far been the focus. The State Senior College in Alimosho was the first port of call. The school premises also houses another secondary school. The visit offered the lawmakers an opportunity to see areas that need government attention, such as infrastructure decay, as most of the classes are in poor state.
So what do you have in place?
We have the thermometer infrared on ground. We have the washhand basin on ground. We have liquid soap, sanitizers, and the rest.
And how many thermometers do you have?
We have 2.
2 functioning?
Functioning.
Functioning?
Yes, sir.
So what do you do before allowing the student to come into the compound?
We actually take their temperature, they are asked to wash their hands, and they use sanitizer.
No.
Either of the 2.
Because I'm seeing sanitizer here, I'm seeing soap here, water is here. The State Senior College, Alimosho, and we have 2 seniors secondary school in this compound, and we observed this particular one, and we can see that they actually had a proper remain in place. What we have seen here, we are good with them, and I think we just encourage the principal and the management to continue to maintain the standard, and at the same time the issue of the sick bay, they should try as much as possible to improve on that aspect. So
we are well prepared, and as you have seen, everything is on ground. The protocol in terms of the COVID-19 is being observed. The Honorable has seen this healing bay, we call it, the washing basins, the thermometers are available, and some other things. Just as the Honorable Yinka Ogodima said, we need more furniture because the furniture has not gone around.
The next school visited was Honeyland College, which is also located in Ibaja community. The school has a population of 470 students, out of which 70 are sitting for the ongoing West Africa Senior School Certificate examinations. The lawmakers took a tour of the school facilities and observed areas that should be looked into by the management.
The environment is good, conducive, and the class sitting arrangement in terms of spacing and distancing, they are standard. Right? The washing point, the hand washing point, we observed that needed be increased. That aspect is not the point that you have seen is not going to be enough. So the school management should increase the hand washing points. That is very important. There is another key observation that we noticed up there. The arrangement of the bags of the students is not well tidy. So we are trying to solve a problem. We should not create another one in the process.
You can see we have prepared, but you can only do what is available. But depending on the number of students we have presently, that is why we just have those 2 points. We have in place, a plan in place rather, where we want to do electric checking of the students' temperature, and they will not even have to touch the tap to be able to dispense water and dispenser to wash them. I appreciate their efforts in monitoring what is going on, because a lot of people will not even do anything if they don't know that people like them are coming.
Topmost Secondary School was also visited.
We have seen a lot of things. The students writing their examinations. The sitting arrangement is perfect. The spacing good, and actually met the required standard. The sick bay is also okay, so room for improvement. But we observed that some of the students, they are not actually with their nose masks. They are with it, but they are not using them properly. So we want the principal to take note of that.
But the lawmakers found appalling the condition of a senior high school located in Ayobo community. According to them, Resumption was the most impacted in terms of infrastructure decay. The 2-meter physical distancing regulation was not observed here, with students sitting close to one another and in a small room. The school principal lamented the poor condition of the environment and the harsh learning condition the students are subjected to. They want the state government to come to their rescue.
It's been very difficult to blame the principal and his team on certain things, but we want the Commissioner for Education to come to this place and visit this place. If she has done that, I think she has to come back again. She has to come back again because the situation here is pathetic. The classrooms are not conducive for learning, talk less of doing examinations. As a matter of fact, Lagos of today, we cannot actually be calling this school. Don't see it as a burden. Don't see it as something you should be fearful of, but rather do the normal thing all the time.
The Education Committee continued the tour with visit to other schools, after which they gave an overview of the exercise.
When I came, there was no school at all in Ayobo Ikwaja Council Development Area. We created 3 secondary schools the same day. Only somebody happened to be one of them. As it started, the building you saw in that very senior secondary school was effort of my government at that very period and that of the community. And since that very time, we have been calling on the government to improve on the infrastructural development in that area.
Where I didn't have it good, I made it open there. Like a place we visited, the school we visited at Ayobo side, that's Orisumbari. So, you know, and I said that this should be called a school. By any standard, we cannot call that a school in Lagos State. So, you know, and that is something we have to really work on immediately. Immediately, we're going to, the house we call on the Ministry of Education, and they are going to tell us what they are going to do about that school almost immediately. So, you know, we cannot put the children together under a shield and we call it a school.
While the inspection exercise continues, the committee assures residents of diligent monitoring of schools to ensure that safety of students is guaranteed when schools resume.
And that's it on Lagos Parliament this week. We thank you for watching. Please join us again next time for another episode. Until then, please obey the public health guidelines and stay safe.